All right, we are all set up, but before I go live, I want to go ahead and give some shout outs here. Bokanon lives with the $25 donation. So happy to support a great cause like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You're doing amazing work, everybody. We appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for the donation. We got Team Zam Petty here with the $25 donation. Hey Todd, such a great cause. We're so proud of you. Love mom and dad. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for the donation. And Emmyzard here with the $20 donation. Thanks for doing this for suicide prevention. Love you, Todd.
Love you too, babe.
All right, and without further ado, let's get some Final Fantasy VII going. I'm going to be presenting y'all with SirDubbington himself. Salute!
Hello, everybody. My name is SirDubbington, and this is Final Fantasy VII PC New Game Plus. I'm gonna give Todd a countdown because I'm ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is Final Fantasy VII New Game Plus. New Game Plus is the Cash Money Edition. Good analogy. Basically, if you're not familiar with the speedrun Final Fantasy VII, you might be confused as to why there's a New Game Plus category. When the PC version was released, they kind of did a bang-up job doing the coding. This kind of messed up version of the game allows us to manipulate the save data that is, or at least the temporary save data in the game, and it allows us to access a hidden location in the materia menu where we can store and remove at least 2 pieces of materia. And in about 20 minutes or so, we will be doing some manipulation that allows us to acquire materia from a different save file and bring it into our new game file that we just created. But first, we need to get through Reactor. And there's a couple of different things that we're going to do in the reactor. We're going to attempt a skip, which is named Avalanche Skip, or the name skip, and fight a boss called the Gore Scorpion as relatively fast as possible. This game also does have a step count, if you're familiar with some of the other Final Fantasy VII speedruns. Step count is only necessary in the reactor. After that, we don't really need to worry about any type of step manipulation for the encounters. Just changing the config menu here, and then we'll get started onto our first battle. We got a good ATB gauge start there by getting the first attack off. So we're going to have a pretty good time on our setup here. So this is the name skip, hopefully. If it's not, yeah, we didn't get it, unfortunately. I probably went a bit too far right after the entryway. If we were managed to get the name skip, we could have saved about 30 seconds or so off the course of the run. This cutscene takes quite a bit of time to get through. As soon as we're done renaming Barrett and watch a cutscene, we're going to do our first portion of the step manipulation. We're going to take about 8 steps here. And this will basically allow us to skip an encounter right about here. So our first encounter is going to happen after jumping into the elevator here. We just need to mash through some of this dialogue. Talk to Biggs. Talk to Jesse. And work our way down to the elevator here. We're going to have a short little discussion with Barrett on why we're doing this mission here in the reactor. Barrett is the founding member of Avalanche, which is an eco-terrorist group. They believe that Shinra is responsible for destroying the planet by consuming Mako energy. And this is one way of them getting revenge on Shinra, the electric company, basically. We're going to get an encounter as soon as we enter in this area here. Every single random encounter we run away from because they are unnecessary. We did not get a quick flee, which is unfortunate, and the beam attack is quite long, so I'm passing Jesse. Our next encounter is going to happen pretty soon here, about halfway down this next ladder. Another bad ATB, so we won't be able to flee in time. We got 2 attacks off. Another slow beam attack. Oh, we still haven't run. That's not good. They got 4 attacks off. There we go. Our next step manipulation comes on this next screen transition. We're going to take 8 more steps. And now we get ready to fight the Guard Scorpion. Guard Scorpion is a little bit RNG when it comes to the amount of damage that you can do and the way that the fight works as well, because he does 2 different main attacks before he does his tail phase, and depending on who he attacks, we can probably get an early limit break off. Cloud might have a chance to go first. He did not. And he's attacking Barrett first as well, so we got a pretty high damage roll. Not as high as it could be, but so we got a rifle attack. It's not going to do enough limit gauge on Barrett. That's the max damage roll for Bolt. Who is he targeting next? Targeting Cloud. If Guard Scorpion does a tail attack on Cloud, we have a chance for a limit break. Nope. So no early limit break, unfortunately. But we are getting a lot of high damage rolls. So now we enter the tail phase here. We're going to do 1 bolt attack. That's going to fill our limit gauge for both characters. And then we're just going to use both of those limit breaks to end the fight here. Oh, wow. Did not do enough damage. Surprising. That's unfortunate. I fully expected him to die at that time. Oh well. Small time loss, but not that big of a deal. Now we have the reactor escape. So we have one more final step manipulation coming up. We need to make it into the next screen. Walk in front of the ladder to force an encounter. We're gonna do a get on the ladder immediately, run up, bonk against the railing there, and then walk across the ladder. And then bonk into the potion. And then to talk to Jesse as early as possible. And this allows us to set up a preemptive fight later on. But we should not get any more encounters for the rest of the reactor. So we should have a very good and quick reactor exit here. I think we might bypass getting the flower, unfortunately. Because we're going to need every gil we can afford. Marlene never gets the flower now. So yeah, that was the first reactor. That explosion was very large and very destructive, and it definitely put Avalanche on the map. Shinra is now fully aware of them and what they're capable of, and this eventually allows Shinra to start planning revenge on Avalanche. Got some dialogue here. Oh, I beat Barrett out. Look at that. Pretty good movement on that stairway there. If I could get a flower to Jesse, I would. But we're going to tell Aerith to get out of here. Sorry, excuse me, the flower girl. We don't actually know her name yet. This here, we're going to have 3 potential fights. We're just going to bypass it by saying later. Even if you do decide to fight them, more guards just show up right away anyway. So we just say later, we get cornered here, and then we hop onto the train. Up next is another skip that we are probably going to fail. It's called Jesse skip. If we can manage to pull it off correctly, we skip about 15 seconds worth of dialogue with Jesse, which is the brown-haired character in the back right of the screen there. Basically, the dialogue cutscene is her explaining the railway system for Midgar. Not relevant to the plot whatsoever. At least I don't find it relevant, because we don't even use or go through the secondary train area. in this run or any other runs unless you're running all bosses or 100%. So but Jessie's gonna make her attempt at flirting with Cloud here. Now we just exit this car, move on to the next scene, and definitely make an attempt on performing Jessie Skip. And the way that we do Jessie Skip is we talk to a guard and we talk to Jessie at the same time, which allows us to do a paralysis dodge and make a screen transition at the same time we do. Okay, I missed it, unfortunately. We needed to talk to that guard and talk to Jessie at the same time, which allows us to bypass this scene here. Again, another 10-15 second time loss. Not that big of a deal. There's going to be potentially more time loss anyway, because we have a skip coming up very soon right after this called Guard Skip. And that's a very pixel perfect maneuver to pull off. Right now we have just a small dialogue with Barrett here, trying to give an explanation of why he's in the city. Yeah, sub-pixel even, because again, it's one of those movements that if you don't have exactly correct, the skip won't work at all. Alright, so everybody's exiting the train. We're going to have a little team meeting before we run off to the hideout. A lot of unnecessary jumping. Alright, so we just gotta run our way through these two screens here into a cutscene that we can skip just by exiting the screen and coming right back. Talk to Barrett, which allows us to go into 7th Heaven, which is Tifa's bar. We have Marlene, who is very much scared of Cloud. Understandably so. So we have a little heartwarming moment here with Barrett and Marlene. Very short-lived, because I honestly believe Barrett is a terrible father figure. Take the pinball machine elevator down to the secret hideout in the basement. Get to watch the massive TV that I still don't know how they fit down here. Have a little argument with Barrett. Biggs get yeeted. Not a happy moment down here in the basement. Even Jessie is upset. Alright, so we're going to be taking off here. But as soon as we reach the door, Tifa stops us. She wants to remind Cloud of the promise that he made back when they were teenagers. Cloud doesn't exactly remember. Details to that reason get revealed later on during the game, but this category we don't bother coming anywhere near that moment. So now we just have a little flashback scene of a moment that Tifa remembers quite clearly. Cloud doesn't remember a lot of things. But we have teenage Tifa and teenage Cloud meeting on top of the water tower in their hometown, Nibelheim. This is basically a resident sleeper part of the run for me. You have this very relaxing track and nothing but button mashing. Basically, the plot that's being discussed here is Cloud wanting to leave Nibelheim and join Soldier because he wants to be just like Sephiroth. Whether or not he actually achieves that goal is debatable. And then we have the pact that Tifa and Cloud make. When Tifa becomes troubled or gets in trouble, Cloud will come to the rescue. And Tifa is right now reminding Cloud of that promise. Barrett is paying Cloud for his mercenary job and discussing the next job that we skip. We wake up in the basement, head back upstairs, and then we have an opportunity to learn how the materia menu works, but we don't even know how to use that at all. Normally in the any percent category, you would skip this entire segment, but for the skip that we need to, or the strategy that we use for this game, we do need. Oh, well, I screwed that up. Accidentally pressed up. Whoops. We do need materia. This is the guard skip. This requires pixel perfect placement. And there we go. And now we are in Wall Market. We meet up with Aerith. Somehow. Not fully explained in this run, but whatever. And now we're going to be starting the materia smuggling glitch. First, we need to do a little setup here. Talk to this guy so we know where to go next. But we're going to make a save file and begin smuggling materia. This part... Oops. Yeah, this part becomes relatively fast, so I don't really have a whole lot of time to explain it while I'm doing it. I just need to do it. But basically, we're just going to be assembling our materia that we need for the materia smuggling glitch by moving our cursor in certain locations on the materia exchange menu, performing a series of intentional deaths, so we now placed our materia into the materia storage that's saved in the temporary save save data, and we're gonna pull that into our new game file that we just did. So we got the first two materials. Now we need the second two materials. If you're not paying attention, it's kind of difficult to follow, but it's just a way to manipulate the game files and the way that this game stores its temporary data. You know, I don't actually know the answer to that, Toro. Because I'm not too sure about the mechanics of the first game or the original PC version. So what we just smuggled into this new game was a seal materia, a sneak attack materia, a throw materia, and an enemy away materia. All of those mastered. And basically we just use sneak attack and throw paired together. We use enemy in a way to minimize the amount of encounters that we get, and we sell the seal materia to fund our battles. Every single battle that we come across now, we're going to be throwing gil at, and when sneak attack and throw are paired together and sneak attack works, it throws the correct amount of money necessary to kill the enemy in one hit. If sneak attack doesn't work, because sneak attack at mastered level only is an 80% chance, we just throw 10,000 gil, and that is usually enough money to kill every single enemy on screen in one hit. There's only a few bosses where we need to throw more than 10,000 gil, but for the most part, if sneak attack doesn't work, that's what we use. Now we're going through the wall market. A lot of people might be familiar with this if they've already watched a Final Fantasy VII speedrun, where we need to get enough items to be selected by Don Cunero. In this particular category, we don't need to worry about selecting the correct items. All we really need is the dress and the wig. The options for the dress don't really matter. But the wig, if we do the minigame, the squats minigame, and win, it is faster in dialogue to win the game than to lose the game. If you lose the game, there's a bunch of extra dialogue boxes you need to go through, and then an animation of was it Big Brother climbing underneath the gym or the boxing ring or whatever. So we normally win this game. The squats minigame, we go against what is commonly referred to as Johnny Hamstrings. Johnny Hamstrings is our opponent in this minigame here. Basically, we just need to do a squats minigame by pressing square, X, and circle. Normally we can get 21 squats done if we manage to do it correctly. 21 is normally the maximum you can get in a 30 FPS category. If your game runs higher than 30 FPS, you are more than likely to get more than 21 squats done with perfect inputs. I personally believe you can get 22 on the PC version if you're good enough, but I lost one and then I just gave up, but I almost lost. That was unfortunate. But we still managed to get the win there, and we got the blonde wig. So now we have enough items to go inside Don Conero's mansion. Johnny Hamstrings did very well. He doesn't normally get 17. I mean, even if we didn't lose that minigame, we would have just got the worst wig available. And then probably lost a couple of seconds, but... Again, not that big of a deal. Even with a few mistakes in this run, meeting the goal of 1 hour and 30 minutes is definitely on the easy scale. So now we go into Don Corneo's mansion. We look like a very pretty woman. At least Don Corneo seems to think so. But we're here to rescue Tifa. You didn't actually get to see the cutscene of Tifa being carried away in a chocobo carriage. But Tifa's here in the basement. We're a little bit embarrassed to be dressed as a woman. However, Aerith and Tifa have this cute little dialogue. Aerith thinks it's absolutely hilarious that Cloud is dressed up as a woman. Tifa is a bit flabbergasted. But now they devise a plot to gain information from Don Cornero. And the whole reason why we're here in the first place is because we've come to find out that Don Cornero has informed Shinra on some important facts about Avalanche and their members. So we're trying to figure out what Don Cornero told Shinra employees and make a plan on what to do next from there. There's absolutely no reason to mention the dungeon basement. Why there's a human body outlined on the table. And some of the torture devices. No reason at all. Alright, we're going right today. So now we line up in front of the Dawn. We gotta figure out who's gonna get selected. Is it gonna be Tifa? Is it gonna be Cloud? Is it gonna be Aerith? Cloud is a bit embarrassed, so he keeps turning away, not looking at the Dawn. And he's chosen Tifa. In the any percent category, both for PC and the PlayStation 1 game, the main goal for this here is to have Cloud be selected. Because there's a couple of fights we're gonna have to do now in order to get to provide or to progress the storyline here. The fastest way to progress the storyline here is to talk to that guy in the middle 3 times before we talk to the guy at the top of the screen there. 1, 2, 3. Now the plot progresses. We're gonna have 2 encounters, or 2 fights here. Hopefully our sneak attack materia works. It did. And we just throw Gil and kill every enemy on screen. We're gonna have another encounter with 3 enemies. Hopefully sneak attack works again. It works. Again, like I said earlier, a sneak attack material, when it's mastered, has an 80% chance to trigger. But we're done with those guys there, and now we just get to go rescue Aerith. She's in the basement. Aerith doesn't exactly need rescuing. But I do think it's funny that she was basically just looping this guy around that table for however long it took Cloud to come down here. And she just pushes him down the stairs like it was nothing. Feel like she could have done that at any moment. Alright, now we have the scene here with Don Corneo's trying to make his moves on Tifa. That is an odd sound effect to have. The way that the throw material works, it's 10 gil per 1 HP. It's basically 10% of what you throw deals damage. So if you throw 10,000 gil, you'll deal 1,000 damage. If there's multiple enemies on screen, that 1,000 damage gets split evenly across the board. So if you throw 1,000 gil, what it does is, and there's 3 enemies on screen, it'll deal 333 damage to each enemy. It's a little bit odd when there's not an even number in the calculation, but you can't really do a fraction of a damage in this game. So now we have a short little dialogue with President Shinra and 2 Shinra executives about the next stage in their plot against Avalanche and what they intend to do. One of them is not too keen on what's about to transpire. Okay, so we wake up in the sewers. We're about to do another boss fight here. If we did our steps correctly, this encounter should be a preemptive attack. It's not that big of a deal if it isn't. It's not a preemptive, unfortunately. As long as sneak attack works, which it does, we throw enough money at the boss and it dies instantly. Alright, now we just need to exit the sewers and make our way back to Tifa's bar to reconvene with Barrett. As I discussed earlier, normally there's some step manipulation that you would do, but since we have the enemy away materia in our possession, we don't really need to worry about a whole lot of random encounters. Enemy away doesn't get rid of them completely, but it definitely eliminates a majority of the random encounters that we do get, or have the potential to get it. So we just need to make our way through the train graveyard here. It's a bit of a maze. But easy to navigate. Got stuck on the edge there, unfortunate. Gotta hop in this train here to clear the path a bit. Gonna hop in this next train over here as well to bridge the gap. And we've made our way through the train graveyard. So right before we make it to 7th Heaven, Tifa's Bar, we realize that there is a fight that has broken out on top of this pillar. You see Avalanche fighting a bunch of Shinra guards, or at least what you think is or what it's meant to be shown here. Wedge takes a tumble and falls a very great distance and manages to live somehow. No normal human being should be able to continue talking after such a great fall, but Wedge is no ordinary human being. Alright, now we got a bit of a stair climb to do. We have one encounter that we're going to get on this stair climb. There is a way to eliminate some time loss by removing the sneak attack materia for encounters or in preparation for random encounters, because you don't really want to be killing enemies you don't need to. So, but for the sake of this speed run and not really wanting to make it extra long by going into a bunch of menus, I just leave the materia on. It gets a bit confusing when you have to materia manage heavily like that. Now hopefully sneak attack works. It does. You have the potential to have a huge time loss for this fight if Reno goes first and throws a pyramid on top of Cloud. Because then you have to waste time by getting rid of the pyramid so that you can do an action with Cloud. You always want sneak attack to work when it shows up, so... Alright, now we have another potential to do another skip. This is the best skip in the game. This is known as the slap skip. So we need to advance the dialogue as fast as possible and skip an animation. Oh no, okay, I was not fast enough, unfortunately. If you mash the dialogue fast enough, you can skip an animation of Song slapping Aerith, which every speedrunner should aim to do. Reset. Yeah, there we go. Let me just reset in the middle of a marathon. The run is ruined. This was Shinra's plan. They intended to blow up a major pillar structure. And basically they dropped one of the upper plates onto the ground level of Midgar. It's very evil. I've got some sad news for you, Jossum. Everybody in that underneath that plate died. Everybody on top of the plate died too. But for Cloud, this was no big deal. He just brushes his shoulders off, gets back up on his feet, and stares at the wreckage. Barrett, unfortunately, is outraged because he thinks that everybody he knows is dead. He thinks his daughter is dead. Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are dead. He is very distraught at this moment. And that's why he's shooting his gun at a bunch of wreckage where he potentially might kill some people who are trapped underneath that wreckage. He is very sad. But then Tifa does let him know that, hey, there might be a chance that Marlene is still alive. Aerith said that she was going to take Marlene to her mom's house. And her mom's house is not in the sector where the plate collapsed. So that's where we're going to be heading to next. We're gonna check to see if Marlene is fine. But first, we need to navigate the playground wreckage. We're about to have another encounter as soon as this cutscene plays out. This encounter is always a hell house. And this is another reason why I leave the sneak attack materia on, is because if we get this when we get this encounter, Hell House has the potential to cast Hell Bomber, which is a very long animation. Sneak attack did not work. We still got Hell Bomber. It's just a long animation. It's a big time loss. And when I mean big for this run. Losing 3 seconds is a lot of time. Exactly, Ace. All right, this right here is, for me at least, is another Resident Sleeper moment. We have about 5 to 10 minutes of dialogue. Quite a big segment here. A flashback of how Aerith made it to Midgar, and Elmira and her backstory. Elmira, Aerith's mom, was married to a man who went off to a war in Wutai. And when the war was over, she waited every day for her husband to come back home. And unfortunately, he did not make it. But basically, we just have to sit here, watch this cutscene play out, while Elmira explains how she first met Aerith, or how Aerith became her daughter. Every day she went to the train station to see if her husband was coming home. One day she found Ilfana, which is Aerith's birth mother. And Elmira decided to take Aerith into her own custody and raise her as if she were her own. Come to find out, Aerith is what is known as an ancient, or the Cetra, which is an ancient race of humans that first came to this planet thousands of years ago. And Aerith is the last remaining person from that race of people. And being the rarity that is, once Shinra found out, they definitely wanted to take her and study her. But Elmira was not having any of it. Here we have Elmira berating Barrett for being the awful father that he is. Barrett's gonna run upstairs to comfort his daughter, and then immediately head downstairs. He spends less than 10 seconds with her before he runs off to go fight Shinra again. And now we devise a plan to break Aerith out of Shinra custody. So now we have to make our way through the slums here. Make our way through the wrecked playground area again. And back into Wall Market. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the goal is here, or what their goal was, as far as like the plot-wise goes. But what we need to do is we need to go buy some batteries. Because we definitely want to buy the batteries before we realize we have to have batteries. Why that's the thing, I don't know. But now we gotta make the climb up to Shinra headquarters. This particular climb is a climb through a bunch of wreckage, which I guess was part of the plate that collapsed. I'm not entirely sure why there's a bunch of wreckage here. I don't really think you could explore this area before you get to this segment. You definitely can't go up here. But anyway, we need batteries to progress our pathway here. So the first battery powers this plane engine, which spins the propeller in a position for us to jump across. How this makes sense, I don't know, but, you know, RPGs. And it's a very long animation too, which I don't exactly like. Here we plug in another battery. We walk up that railway stopped bar. Jump onto the swinging pipe. And climb up this wrecked subway car, I think? That's what that was? I don't know. A bunch of weird pipes and whatnot. Pipes, wires, cables. This area never really made sense to me at all. but somehow it leads directly to Shinra headquarters. Like imagine right outside of Shinra headquarters is just this wrecked like junkyard, basically hanging off the edge. So we finally made it to Shinra headquarters. We're gonna bust right in. We're gonna go save Aerith. We're gonna go take on the bosses of Shinra Incorporated. This particular strategy that we use in this category is taking the elevator up instead of taking the stairways up. Again, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy VII speedruns, at least in the PlayStation version, you would normally take the stairs to get to floor 59 in this category, and if you do elevator manip, you would take the elevator. You have the potential to get at least 5 encounters on the elevator. Normally, you can kill every single enemy on the elevator with at least 2 grenades, or with sneak attack coin. But once we jump on the elevator, Shinra realizes that there are intruders, and this there's this defense mechanism in place that randomizes the floors that we have the potential to come across. Basically, we just got to keep hitting the elevator button to stop it. That was quite a big jump there. We went from floor, what, 16, 17 to floor 32? Again, we just hope and pray that sneak attack works so we don't lose as near as much time as we would by doing the manual input. During the elevator segment here, you do have the potential to come across a Shinra employee. We have not come across one yet, but if you do come across a Shinra employee, you don't get a fight for that floor. But we need to make it to floor 59. Oh, I did not know that, Ace. Again, there is a thing for elevator manip. I don't know how that works. $29, $38, $47, $56. Very interesting. Alright, so we defeated some guards. They dropped a key card, which allows us to go higher up the Shinra headquarters. Now we have the worst part of the run. This is the most stressful moment in the entire run. You have the potential to run straight away across everything on that first go, but I try not to risk it. You don't want to get caught by these guards here because it'll start an encounter, and it's a pincer attack, so you can't flee from it, and you can't kill it in one shot. All you can do is just kill each one at a time. And since the only method for us to kill these fights is using coin toss, it's a big time loss if we ever get caught by them. So I'm taking this very slowly here. Really don't want to risk getting caught, especially by the back end there. We make it up one more floor. We gotta talk to someone. Right, and this guy thinks that we're like part of the cleaning crew or whatever, or repair people, I don't know. But he says, here, take my card, go up to the next floor and fix this thing for me. Something like that. I stopped paying attention to the dialogue. Now we have breakdown, okay. We have the mayor password minigame here. We looked at that book there to figure out what the actual password is. Normally what I do is I get it right on the second try, because if I am doing the materia management where I'm taking off sneak attack constantly, I don't want to get it right on the first try because our reward is an elemental materia. And because we currently have no materia in our menu, if we get that materia, it kind of jumbles up our placement and makes it slower to do the sneak attack removal and re-equip when we need to. Sneak attack or the getting caught by those guards in New Game Plus is not a run killer in New Game Plus. It is a big time loss though. Oh, there's a reason why NG Plus gets caught by Automod. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, Ace, exactly. Cash percent. That's all this run is. We just throw money at everything until we win. So we had a little mini game here where we had to acquire some puzzle pieces, put a pizza together. Unfortunately, one of the pizza slices is missing before we can progress to the next area. This is the executive level. That's the executive boardroom. And this is the toilet. Shout out to P-Town. So we climbed through some exhaust vents through the bathroom, and we spy on the Shinra executives. Right now, they're discussing their next stage to deal with Midgar now that Avalanche is dead. And then we get an update from the scientist Hojo with his greasy looking hair and his huge brow. Basically, Hojo is discussing how he's going to reproduce more Cetra or more ancients by breeding Aerith with another race that is also the last of its species. Later on, we find out who that other science specimen is, and then we question how exactly Hojo came to that conclusion of breeding those two species to make more. I don't think Hojo is a very good scientist. Alright, those two employees there have a little bit of RNG. We got very good RNG. Sometimes they have the potential of going up the hallway. And neither one of them went up the hallway, so they weren't going to get on our way. So this is the science department, I guess, of Shinra headquarters. We get a little cutscene here. Hojo is inspecting the other specimen. That's the last of its species. He gets an update that they're ready to start the experiment. Tifa's a bit interested in this endangered species here. And like most Americans, when they visit a zoo, they tap on the glass to get the attention of the specimen behind it. Cloud, on the other hand, he gets distracted by whatever's in this containment cell. We have one of the worst sound effects in video games ever, blaring in our ears. Cloud collapses. And we find out that that entity that's inside of that containment cell is the abomination that is known as Genova. We don't have to worry about Genova. That's the last time we hear about Genova in this game. In this category, at least. Here we're confronting Hojo. Hojo is moments away from conducting his experiment with Aerith and the other precious specimen, the endangered species, which is like some type of lion or dog creature. We have this fantastic song playing during this scene, the lab rat dog. There you go. Barrett, the only thing that he knows what to do is to shoot something, so he shoots at the containment cell. And then the specimen straight up mauls Hojo, although I don't really think that specimen or that creature knows how to attack someone because, you know, Hojo's still alive. He's not bleeding at all. And then it talks. So this is Red 13. One of the best characters in the game, in my opinion. And now we have a fight with this crazy abomination. We need to throw 40,000 gil because the boss has 1,000 HP. There are 4 enemies on screen, and in order for us to kill the boss in one hit, we need to deal enough damage, and that damage is worth 40,000 gil. And again, like every single enemy we encounter, every single boss we encounter, we kill it in one shot by throwing money at it. Okay, so now we've rescued Aerith. Now it's time to flee. We need to escape Shinra headquarters as fast as possible. And the only way we know how to do that is to take an elevator that has security cameras. So of course we get caught by the Turks because they know exactly where we were going. We have this little scene here with President Shinra. President Shinra's going to tell us that we're going to go to jail for the rest of our lives, or we're probably going to be executed. All he wants is Aerith, so they can conduct experiments on her, and so that Aerith can show Shinra the Promised Land, because for some reason they think that the Promised Land is just filled with Mako energy. And like any greedy corporation owner or president or CEO or whatever, i.e. Nestle or whatever, they just want to take everything they can and exploit the natural resources. Again, just think about it. When the aspects of this game, right, came out 20 years ago, and they're worried about environmental damage. They're worried about huge corporations exploiting the natural resources of the land. How when you exploit the natural resources of the land, everything around it tends to die. Now we have this cutscene, this dialogue here. This is Aerith explaining to Cloud and Tifa and the rest of the party what exactly an ancient is, what the Cetra are. Basically all the history that she knows about her own people. How she has the ability to talk to the planet, whatever that means. I always just think of Aerith as some tree-hugging hippie. She talks to trees. Anyway, we're done listening to her. Let's just go to sleep. Take a nap. Nothing else we can do at the moment. When we wake up, we realize that our cell door is wide open. We're a little bit confused to that reason. We find this guard sleeping on the job. Time to get the rest of the party up. We need to investigate this further. Oh, I accidentally talked to the sleeping guard too many times. That's unfortunate. We got Barrett out. Red 13's out as well. But we're out, man. We're out of our prison cells. So let's get the heck out of this building. Well, there's another sleeping guy. That guy's sleeping in a puddle of Kool-Aid. Man, someone's dropped Kool-Aid all over the floor, man. I bet you someone threw a cup away with liquid still in the bag. And some janitor is just dragging a trash bag around with a bunch of Kool-Aid in it. He's gonna have a huge mess to clean up. Anyway, that was the last random encounter in Shinra headquarters, or in all of Midgar, basically. And we come to find that President Shinra has been killed. He's got a giant sword sticking out of his back. Now we have a little dialogue here of the party discussing. Yeah, he's sleeping on the job too. Captured the bad guys, now everybody take a nap. Palmer, on the other hand, was hiding like the little rat that he is. And he says Sephiroth killed the president. One of the most dangerous soldiers Shinra has ever had in their employ. And of course, moments after President Shinra has been killed, his son, Rufus, shows up to take over the company. Rufus sees this ragtag bunch of individuals. He starts berating them. He's just got a paper cut. Yeah, there we go. But now, since President Shinra's been taken care of, Cloud intends to take care of Rufus as well. They'll finally put an end to Shinra once and for all here. But we're still trying to escape Shinra headquarters. They're having a discussion whether or not they should wait for Cloud. Tifa says, "I'll wait behind." I have a little moment here where I need to leave the material where it's at, immediately go into the menu, and then exchange it anyway. Because we have another boss fight coming up where we need to throw money at it. We have two bosses that we get to fight immediately. If we're very lucky, Red 13 will get sneak attack off. And then I can queue up the coin throw on the next boss so that they only get one attack in on me. Sneak attack works. We're gonna hold ATB here. Just in case Red 13 gets put to sleep. He does not, so we're good. If Red 13 gets put to sleep there, it's another big time loss. We need to put that materia back onto Cloud. Hopefully sneak attack works again for this fight. Otherwise, we might have to sit through 2 turns from Rufus and Dark Nation. Sneak attack worked. Good. Now we're very close to the end of the game. We've taken care of Rufus. He ran away though, like a scared puppy, with his tail between his legs. And now, one of the best FMVs is gonna start playing pretty soon here. And then we get the motorbike minigame as we escape Midgar. Normally this is where people would go take a bathroom break because this is a fairly long FMV. About an hour, hour and a half into a run. Depending on which version of the game that you're playing. Usually when this starts taking place. But we get an awesome FMV. Back when I was a small child, I recorded this FMV on a VHS tape that shows my age. I recorded all of the FMVs from this game just because I thought how awesome they were. I wanted to watch them over and over again. I was a huge Final Fantasy nerd when I was a small kid. And let me tell you, trying to record gameplay on a VCR back in the 90s was pretty difficult. Okay. So, we're just gonna drive as far as we can, as fast as we can. Okay. I actually have to kill these guys because they try to attack Cloud. I don't want them attacking Cloud. They can attack the other party members. I don't really care. We don't need them anymore. Everybody else is useless. We only need Cloud. He has the materia. So, yeah, they can get beat up all they want. Aerith is getting beat up very fast. I'm surprised that was... Okay, she's no longer taking damage. Now it's just Tifa and Barret. They're just getting beat up, man. So Tifa and Barret, we don't care about either. Don't care about Aerith. Don't care about Red 13. Normally, what you would do is you would try to get 3 red bikes and then just swing your sword constantly to keep them away from hitting your party members. Okay, Tifa and Barret are down. Now Aerith is going down. Red 13, surprisingly, has not taken a whole lot of damage. I don't know. Someone who's unconscious right now. Okay, now everybody else is gone, so Red 13 is finally taking damage. Get away from him. This is funny to watch. Okay. They're done attacking Red 13. Now we have Motorball. Motorball, again, easy fight. We just throw money at it. We're like an affluent teen. Tifa and Barret got 1 HP left. Will they survive? Nope. They don't survive. Oh well. Barret, though. He's got 420 HP. Poggers. Okay. So, this is the part that gets really weird. And the game capture might not even pick all of it up. Right? Now we're going to set up the final warping to get to the debug room. We have a small little dialogue here. There's one final skip that we're going to do called Barret Skip, to where we can exit Midgar without going into the party select screen. As soon as we exit Midgar, we need to take off our enemy away materia, save the game, quit the game, load the game back up, load that same save file back up, and then overwrite that save file. So we need to make 2 saves in quick succession. And then we load up another save file that's been corrupted and basically makes it... there we go. That's the Barret Skip right there. And basically, the save file that we were about to load up here Oops. Need to take that off real quick. The save file that we're about to load up basically thinks that we have access to the high wind. And we're also still in the calm flashback. Okay, so we saved over that same save file twice. Now we're going to load up our corrupted save file. We're going to fly in our invisible high wind. We're going to come outside here to just outside of, what was it, Coral Town or whatever. We're going to try and get an encounter here. We need an encounter with 3 Spencers and 1 Flatbeat. Normally I have the game manipulated to have it happen on the first try. We kill Tifa. And now we can warp to the debug room. So we just need to get into a random encounter, win, and that'll warp us to the debug room. Time is coming up very soon. Time happens on the final hit on Sephiroth. Ooh, we have a pincer attack. Because we can use previous save files. Okay, so we go to this selection, we hold R1, LAS 4-0, press confirm. And now we are at the final boss. Shirtless Sephiroth. Right, so normally in the any percent category, in order to do this specific warp to the debug room, we need to create our own save file in the COM flashback. But because this is a new game plus, we can use a save file we've already created. Again, the time is coming up very soon. I will call it out as soon as it happens. But basically, as soon as we land the final hit on Sephiroth, that is the end of the game. Normally people would do Omni Slash or Omni Swag. This game is so corrupted that we don't have access to it, so we're going to do Omni or Braver Swag. And time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Final Fantasy VII. New Game Plus. In an hour and 27 minutes and 3 seconds. The world record for this category is 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 18 seconds. So I think we did a very good job. But yeah, that's it, man. That's the end of the game right there. I think that's about it for me. So I'm just going to hand it back over to Todd. And hopefully we could get the next game started, which is, I believe, Final Fantasy IX, which I'm very much looking forward to. So take it away from here, Todd.